There was no good reason for Mr. Trump to have these documents at Mar-a-Lago.
Legal experts say former U.S. President Donald Trump faces a formidable task defending against charges that he illegally kept top-secret documents upon leaving the White House in 2021. The 37 counts against him were unsealed in Florida federal court on Friday and include violations of the Espionage Act, obstruction of justice conspiracy, and false statements. National security law experts are struck by the breadth of evidence in the indictment. They say it makes a strong case for prosecutors' allegation that Trump illegally took the documents and then tried to cover it up. This is Craig Green, a law professor at Temple University.
Again, these questions of intent become very important. The closer and more attentive Trump has been to the location of the boxes, the harder it is for him to say, oh, it was just a mistake. It seems very clear that he was personally involved, that he had a lot to say about where the boxes were, and that actually there's a lot of suggestion that he knew quite well that there were national defense documents and information inside.
The indictment of a former U.S. president on federal charges is unprecedented in American history and emerges at a time when Trump is the frontrunner for the Republican presidential nomination in 2024. His legal woes have yet to dent his popularity with Republican voters, according to Reuters Ipsos polling. Trump's lawyers did not immediately respond to Reuters' requests for comment. In theory, Trump could serve decades in prison if convicted, but analysts say a federal judge has great leeway and could impose a much lighter sentence, especially in the context of a plea deal. Here's former federal prosecutor Jennifer Beadle.
We're in the high 90% of all federal cases end in pleas. It's something like 2 or 3% of federal cases result in a trial. Typically, a federal defendant will get a much better sentence out of a plea.
But Trump has proclaimed his innocence and called the case a witch hunt orchestrated by political enemies. National Security Defense Attorney Mark Zaid said fighting the charges at trial might be the best strategic move for Trump, one that raises much bigger questions.
Go full-blown bluster publicly as much as you want to raise enough attention and money to try and strengthen your chances to win the presidency. And if he had already been convicted by that point in time, he could at least try and pardon himself, which is a completely open constitutional question because we've never faced it.
Trump is due to make his first appearance in the case in a Miami court on Tuesday, a day before his 77th birthday.
We have to act as a nation. We need to push back against the hundreds of callous and cynical bills and laws introduced in states targeting transgender children, terrifying families, and criminalizing doctors and nurses. These bills and laws attack the most basic values and freedoms we have as Americans. That's not hyperbole, that's a fact. The right to be yourself, the right to make your own health decisions, the right to raise your own children. No one should have to fear for their safety in this country. No one should be singled out or demonized or made to feel less than anyone else. Too many people in the LGBT community are worried and afraid about their future and their safety. So today, I want to send a message to the entire community, especially to transgender children. You are loved. You are heard. You are understood. And you belong.
The ridiculous and baseless indictment of me by the Biden administration's weaponized Department of Injustice will go down as among the most horrific abuses of power in the history of our country. Many people have said that. Democrats have even said it. This vicious persecution is a travesty of justice. You're watching Joe Biden. Joe, I think of it. Biden is trying to jail his leading political opponent, an opponent that's beating him by a lot in the polls, just like they do in Stalinist Russia or communist China. No different. Only Donald Trump is indicted and they take one charge and they turn it into 36 charges. You saw that. Everybody was amazed. Lawyers on television, yes, they're not usually the best lawyers, but some are very good. They're saying we've never seen anything like it. They took one charge and they made it 36 different times. we have a thug who's in charge. This is a political hit job. As far as the joke of an indictment, it's a horrible thing. It's a horrible thing for this country. I mean, the only good thing about it is it's driven my poll numbers way up. Can you believe it? Way up.
Colombian soldiers found 4 children alive in the country's south on Friday, more than 5 weeks after they survived a deadly plane crash in the thick jungle. Photos the military shared appear to show troops feeding the children, who were siblings aged 13, 9, 4, and a now 12-month-old baby. The grandfather of the 3 girls and 1 boy was elated at the news of their rescue.
Alegría porque
we are happy because this situation didn't let us sleep, didn't let us be happy. We couldn't sulk. When we found the children, we felt joy. We don't know what to do, but we are grateful to God.
The children were the only survivors of a plane crash which killed 3 others, including the pilot and their mother. The Cessna plane they were on, which was on a route between Araraquara and San Jose del Guaviare, crashed in the early hours of May 1st due to an engine failure. It sparked rescue operations involving Colombian Army and Air Force helicopters and planes. Rescuers previously found discarded fruit the children ate to survive, as well as improvised shelters. Soldiers say indigenous people from the local Muri community of Putumayo found the 4 children and made contact with Colombian special forces. The rescued children arrived at Bogota early Saturday. They were seen carried out of a plane on stretchers. Colombia's president earlier said the children have received medical attention.
A deadly bus crash in a part of Australia known for wine and weddings sent shockwaves through the country late Sunday. As of Monday morning, police said at least 10 people had been killed, with dozens more injured. The accident took place when a chartered bus carrying wedding guests rolled off a ramp at a roundabout in the Hunter region north of Sydney and flipped on its side. New South Wales Police Acting Assistant Commissioner Tracy Chapman said police have been working on identifying everyone on board, with fears more passengers may have been trapped beneath the overturned bus.
A 58-year-old man, the driver of the coach, was taken to hospital for mandatory testing, and he's now at Cessnock Police Station and currently under arrest.
She also said heavy fog was present at the time of the crash, but a cause had not yet been determined. Australian Prime Minister Anthony Albanese offered his condolences for the victims of the tragedy on Monday.
all of us know the joy of going to a wedding, a chance to celebrate dear friends and family. They are some of the happiest times that you can have. For a joyous day like that in a beautiful place to end with such terrible loss of life and injury is so cruel and so sad and so unfair. People hire a bus for weddings in order to keep their guests safe, and that just adds to the unimaginable nature of this tragedy.
Local residents expressed shock over the accident.
It was like, oh my God.
It happened Sunday, shortly before midnight local time, after the wedding at the Wandon Valley Estate Vineyard. On Monday, the vineyard put up a sign saying it was closed for the day out of respect for the victims of the tragedy.